Good evening. Hi, it's Diane Evans with stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if this is one of your first times that you've joined me, I'm really glad that you have. Make sure that you like my page or go in and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that's probably one of the better places to be is on my YouTube. Because at that point you get to see an awful lot of different things. So make sure you subscribe. There's also a bell that's right down below. And if you hit that bell, you're going to be notified immediately as soon as I upload a video. So first of all, I have to apologize. We had some issues, or I don't know so much if it was an issue. I don't know if it was me or if it was my scheduling app that I have, but it had me coming on. It said in 10 minutes, and for some reason it came on at 5:45. I do it at 6:30, my What Now series. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what happened there, but maybe I'll take the blame. Maybe it was me. I'm not sure. But in any event, welcome. I'm so glad that you joined me. So this is where I go and I take something from my craft studio and we learn a different way to do it. Now, some of you may have learned this way or this particular technique. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being refreshed at doing it as well. And plus, you're going to see a different card than what I had done originally anyways. So today, what we're going to do is we are going to play with Reinkers again. And, you know, honestly, Reinkers are probably one of your best friends in your whole studio. If you buy an ink pad, you should always buy a Reinker. So here are some Reinkers, and one thing that's really, really important to do is, like I say, if you buy an ink pad, you should always buy a Reinker with it. You never know when this is going to run out, and these particular ink pads run out a lot faster because they're juicier ones, and so all you need to do is just basically, and I can show you how to re-ink, and I think I will at this point. This happens to be pretty pink, and I really don't need it re-inked, but I will show you how to do it. So all you're going to do is you are going to take your re-inker, take the lid off, of course, and you're just going to rub it on. And you know what? I think I'll just do it very lightly. So I'm just putting it on. And on the old ones, which used to be canvas ones, you used to be able to just leave it like that and it would move. But what you're going to do with this particular one, and I just need to bring in a spoon here, and it's a very hefty spoon, and you do not need this big of a spoon to do this. But you just come in and you take the back side of a spoon. You could use a disposable spoon. It's entirely up to you. But all you do is just rub it in like that, and then that is how you re-ink your ink. Remember that you always store your upside down. So by storing them upside down, what's happening is you're making the ink all stay to the top of your pad. All Stampin' Up! Ink pads are, because of the way it flips, because it flips like this, and you put it like this, so it's already down. So that will keep it good and inked. So tonight what we're going to do is a really, really old technique. I know I had done it last year, but like I say, this is something that could refresh you completely. One thing I'm going to say is if you go in and you share your video, you could just mark shared. And at that point, what I'll do is I'll make 2 draws for some cards. So basically, if you go in and you share your video, how you do that is on your Facebook, on the Facebook page, down just underneath the video, there's a share button. You could do it that way. Or if you're on my YouTube, you could do the same thing there. All right, so we are going to actually use this and the dies that go along with this. I haven't used these, well, I did this afternoon. I played around with them. But this will be the first time that I'm actually using this particular bundle. All right, so we are first of all going to play with a pink one. And I just want to show you the different techniques or the different ways that they're going to look. And then I'll make a card using a different color. So one of the big things with this particular technique is I use shimmer white paper. I find that it works 100% better, and also it gives that shimmery look. So it's really kind of neat how that looks. So, and I've also slid my grid sheet into one of those plastic folders that you get from your designer series pack. I saved those, and we are going to make a bit of a mess today, so we might as well make it on here, and then I can just wipe it off. Okay, like I said, shimmery white paper. And we're going to have a glass of wine. No, that's not what we're having. What's in here is water, a couple of drops of Dawn dish soap. And then what I've done is I've taken my Reinker, and I've just gone in and I've just put some drops in my water. And all that is now what we're going to do, and I'm just going to move this over a bit because I want to make sure I have enough of this on this particular part here. And then I'm coming in with a straw. And I should have brought another straw because I was playing with one other color. If I get a straw like from any place that I pick up, drive-through food, I don't use the straw, but I keep the straw for crafting. Of course we would, right? But in any event, and I'm seeing there's lots of people dropping on, but oh my goodness, we've got Kylie on here. Kylie from Australia. Is that not exciting? Kylie is actually part of our Creativity Abounds design team. And if you are part of that Whimsy and Wonder stamp camp, you're going to be able to see Kylie up close and personal when she does her Facebook Live showing us an alternate project. All right, so like I say, I've got a straw. This is water, not wine. It's got some Dawn dish soap in there, and it also has just some water in the Reinker. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, you don't even have to stir it up. I did add a bit more Reinker on there. Now, I used more than 2 drops. The more drops you use, the more intense this color is going to be. But yeah, I just did that like that. So now all we're going to do is we're going to blow. And hopefully I don't get in the camera when I do this. So I'm getting the bubbles coming up, and then what I'm doing is I'm catching the bubbles on the paper. Let's get some more. And yes, this gets quite messy. And I think I want a little bit more on there. So it's just like that. And see, this is quite messy. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I use wine glass, because the bubbles come up better with it. If you use a shallow one, it doesn't work quite as well, a shallow dish. So, do I have enough on there? I'm going to put a tiny bit more over here. All right. Now I'm going to get rid of this, and we'll clean off the desktop. And now you'll see why I used that covering from our designer series paper. You know, I always say don't throw anything away, but I really need to start throwing things away. But this has protected my surface. All right, so just going to clean that off. All right, so now we have this beautiful background, right? And it has the tone of polished pink, because polished pink is that really, really pretty, that pretty pink. It's not quite as vibrant as this color here, but because it's diluted in water, okay? So I thought, well, that is so pretty. And then when we were discussing this afternoon, we thought, oh, this would be a nice baby card or something like that. But it would also work for because people know that I love having pink Christmas cards. But I thought, why would I not use one of my favorite colors? Yeah, Kylie, this is a great thing to show off when you're, and to use another use for Reinkers. I tell you, you could go on forever and ever doing techniques with your Reinkers. Okay, so this is, like I say, on the shimmery paper. It's really nice and shimmery. But then using my favorite color, well, one of my favorite colors, I have, and this is not the shimmer white, and this is going to be too big, so we're going to have to cut this one down. This is the shimmer white. So I did the same thing with Bermuda Bay. And of course, we can't mistake this for wine at all. But I think there is a drink out there that is that color. I'm not sure. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. You're going to find this one, and I'm actually going to move this out of the way, or else we're going, whoa, we're going to get it where it's going to really mark it up. Now, let's just go blow in there and get that going. And any of you that remember the one I did last year, I had done it actually with Memento ink, and I made it so that it was a black thing. And what it did was it actually, ooh, we're going to get this, see? I don't know why I don't remember doing this so much the last time I did this, but I'm going to be covered in ink anyways. So there's a beautiful background there. Now I could go, and you can just take your bubbles that are there and just get some more on there. Let's get a bit over here. There we go. Now I'm going to take this out of the way because anybody that knows me knows that I could spill this in a flash. And where I'm putting it is pretty precarious as it is. All right. So I'm just going to have that like that. And see, it's a little wet still. Oh, okay. So Marjorie Levitt went and said right on, Callie said cocktails. Marjorie Levitt went and said that she switched over to the YouTube channel and she found that it didn't cut out as much. Now, I'll tell you something, it hasn't cut out on my end. So it definitely depends on your bandwidth that you have. All right. So one thing that you can do, and you can use your heat gun and just put it on the low end and dry it. Now, one thing, if you dry from the opposite side, it doesn't curl as much if you dry from both sides. So we're just going to dry this up and we're going to kind of flatten it down. There we go. Okay, so there we have our background. Pretty background. Here's another pretty background. So it's just like that. Okay, so I'm going to need this as a card base. So I've got a bunch of different things here. So these were ones that I had done this afternoon, and actually I joined, if you can see, I joined in pink and the Bermuda Bay, and it worked out quite nice. So I'm going to cut this one down, and I'm going to cut it down to the third layer, because I'm going to have a Bermuda Bay, and I'm also going to have a white layer on there as well. I think I might even go with a white card base. I have the white card base here. Yes, I do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a white card base. We're going to have the Bermuda Bay, and then I'm going to layer this onto here. All right, so let me go in and let's just trim this one down. So this would have to be 3 3/4. And I apologize, Callie, I do not have the metric measurements, but this is the third layer on your card by the 5 inches. I find that really amazing. Here in Canada, we have switched quite a bit to metric, but yet I guess because we have our paper supplied from the United States and they're imperial, that's why we're stuck with the imperial measurements. So when you're making projects with your metric, you sometimes can get really, really good, a real closeness to it because you're going in centimeters, right? All right, so I am going to I'm going to get this down onto the card base. The card base being 5.5 by 8.5. And I scored it at 4.25. And what we want to do is make sure that that's folded into the mountain. And you can see I have Bermuda Bay all in here. And you know what? Dawn just soap takes that off, so there's no problem there. Peggy asked, in the glass, a couple of drops of Reinker and just water? No, you have Dawn soap in there, Peggy. Dawn liquid soap. And I just put just not that much in, but don't skimp on it either because you definitely want those bubbles to work, right? All right, so I'm just going to layer that on there. Just like that. Now, the other thing is, and I just have to apologize, but I have to lower this table a bit because on here, I am actually going to use an embossing folder. And this embossing folder is this, you know, I thought I had the package to that. This is the double embossing folder. And you know what? I don't know the name of it, and I've got to find the name of that. So this comes in two. Yesterday, when I had done my mystery challenge, I used the other one from it. So let me just quickly grab that embossing folder. So it's this one here. It's the Wintry 3D embossing folder there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is usually what you would use in your mini cut and emboss, your baby boss. However, I have a full-size sheet, and I do not think that that would go through my baby. Let's check it out. It might, but I doubt it because this is 3 3/4. You know what? I'm going to wreck it if I put it through. So I have my big cut and emboss, and let me just quickly put that through. Of course, I have my layer, my base, and I've got my special 4 base or number 4 plate. Now just put that through. And that's all there is to that. So now you're going to notice that this embossing folder, or this piece that I embossed, really does emboss. You can really see it embossed. And I will give you a secret as to why it embossed deeper in here than on a dry sheet. This was a bit wet. And when you spritz your paper and put it through with an embossing folder, it tends to have a deeper image on there. And this is such a pretty embossing folder, but it only like takes up part of your card. So I have that like that. Oh my goodness. Pink card would be pretty too. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm not gonna put that on there yet because I think I want to use some ribbon on there as well. So I've gone ahead and I've cut these stitched snowflakes and just check them out. They're so pretty. You can see how they're stitched. And let's see. Oh, I thought I was going to do a pink card, I guess, tonight because I brought in the paper for a pink card. That was not very smart. So I'm just going to run and get some Bermuda Bay. My Bermuda Bay is actually close to me. So I'm going to go in first and let's stamp the sentiment. And I debated what I wanted to use. So I'm going to do this Merry Everything. And then on the inside, it's may the happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season. I thought that would be really nice. So I'm actually going to use embossing powder with this. So just go in and use I know I'm using a retired product, but I love my embossing buddy. And I feel that you need to have, you've got to have something. So if you do not have an embossing buddy, what you can do is you can go, hello. You can go to a dollar store, any kind of a dollar store, pick up some infant socks. We're talking those little tiny ones. And what you're going to do is you're going to take it, fill it with some cornstarch, and sew it up really, really good, and then you'll have anti-static as well. All right, so I'm going to use this, and I don't even know if this is straight, so I'm going to check to make sure I've got this on here straight. Well, hello, we've got people from Connecticut, we've got people from Minnesota. Welcome. Remember to, oops, it's upside down. I think this is crooked. It is. All right, so let's try that again. How do you line up your stamps? I just line mine up and I use the bottom of my, oops, of a line to line up my stamp, and then that's how I go about to get it even. But you know, I don't know what I'm really fretting about, because I can actually fussy cut this out if I want. All right, so I'm just going to go in here, and if I decide I don't want to, I'll get it straight anyways. Wow. And we've got Janet from Ontario and Southwest Minnesota. My goodness. What's the time there now? Is that like, I know in Ontario it's 3 hours difference, but I'm not sure about Minnesota. All right, so let's get, I put mine in the embossing folder like so. And then let's just heat set that as well. And I apologize for the noise. Just get that started. And Yakima, my goodness. Well, we're in the same time zone, Shirley, so. There we go. Isn't that a nice font? I think that's a really nice font. I really kind of like that. All right, so we've got that. And let's, okay. And then the other part that I wanted to definitely, oh, and we've got Heather from Melbourne. Oh my goodness. I love it. So we're going to use this fantastic glittered organdy ribbon. And I think I'm going to put that along. Well, I want to know where I'm going to put this. So, you know what? Let's make it 3 3/4. And then we'll go from there. All right. Now, if that was the case, I probably should have gotten it even. So I want to put it on ribbon, right? So let's see. You know what? I don't know how this is going to look. So we'll see how this looks. I cut this at one point. Yes, lots of sharing going on. Good, good. And like I say, if you're the winner of the draw, I'm going to make 2 draws and I'll send you a card or 2. I decided that's my best way of not getting rid of my cards. I've got so many cards, and I guess you can donate your cards, but you can only donate so many, right? So, all right, so I'm going to just put this around here. We'll see how it looks. If it doesn't look any good, we'll end up, I'll change it. All right, so let's just put it here. And we need that 3rd finger. And I don't know where oh, here it is. I'm going to use that glue dot. So let me just pull this up. Just take this like this. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking my glue dot and I'm just putting it down here, and I'm using that like my 3rd finger. And then I can just tie this in a knot. Oh, it's so nice to see so many different people here. By doing it this late at night, it's like, okay, So what do? You go, if you're in Melbourne, you would go plus 6 hours from where we are right now. So it would be 7 plus 6, it'd be 1 o'clock at the next day. So it's 1 o'clock in the day tomorrow. Am I right? Okay. So I think that can go there. Yep, that'll be okay. All right, so I'm actually going to stick this on with dimensionals. Yeah, somebody gave me that simple tip. Now, I don't know what happens when it's 12 noon. Okay, so it has 12 noon, 7 plus 6. Okay, so I must be, oh, it must be, well, I was close. How bad is that? Oh my goodness. Anyways, so let's just put that on there. Like I say, look at that embossing. You really need to see this close up. All right, so let's go and put this onto the card base here. And because it's embossed, I'm going to use my liquid glue. So if you have any ideas that you would love to see me do for my What Now series every Thursday night for us, just let me know. Message me, give me a personal message, leave a comment or something like that. I know, like I say, I've done this. I did this last year, and I did this for a Halloween card, actually. But we're doing a Christmas card this time. Is that not a pretty background? Oh, my goodness. I've got to show you something I did cut when I went and I did my pink. I went in this afternoon when I was playing, and this is one of the dies from this stamp set. And this is so shimmery, and you can't see it, unfortunately. But it's so pretty, this die. But in any event. Okay, so now because these are stitched and they're not, you can't basically put dimensionals on there. I might get away with some mini dimensionals. Let's see what I can get away with. And I would only put them in the middle. So we'll get away with that one. We won't get away with these ones, but I'm going to put one in the middle of that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use glue dots to put these snowflakes on. All right, so that one's got, so let's use some glue dots on here. And a glue dot, you can just squish it with your finger. Or you know what? I could use just glue. That might even just work just as well. I'm going to use just glue. Glue dot off. I just wanted to put that on there. So I'm going to put that one there. I haven't put it on yet. Well, let's just put it on. Okay. Go there. This is going to go up. So let's just use some glue. These stitched snowflakes are so pretty. I know we had snowflakes last year, but I am a real sucker for snowflakes. Okay, so let's go here. And then, you know, the glue dots might give a tiny bit of a dimension on it, so we'll go back in. Oh, Peggy, I'm glad. I'm glad it's a new technique. I know I had showed it last year, but that's not when I was doing lives at that point? I'm not sure. But it was it's really a neat technique. And you know, I wish I had that particular let's just go down, and I want to bring, let's put this one, say about there. We want a cluster of flakes, right? Let's see. I want this to come down onto this part here. There. Let's see, this can actually, it's darn glue, right? Let's go ahead and put some glue on there. Oh, is that right, Heather? You've cased a lot of my cards. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And you bet. You go ahead and you case. It's nice that every Thursday, so it'll be every noon your time, I do a Facebook Live, and this is this series. And this is the series that, oh goodness, where do I put this? Do we want to put this down here? No, we're going to put it there. Yeah, that's not quite where I want it. So, you know what? Maybe they're just a little too close together. Not liking this. There, that would kind of work. Now, what I want to do is, and I thought these would be the best embellishments to put on this particular one, and these are the opal rounds. They come in two sizes. They're quite big, but I think I can get away with this. Now, these can be colored as well. I'm just going to put some in the middle there. And it's, like I say, it's got a bit of shimmer to it. It'd be nice if we could use that old shimmer like we used to have, shimmer paint. It would be really, really nice on there. Let's go, no, not there. Let's go up there. Now, what has this got on there? Oops, that's too much on that side. There, we're going to have to put that there. I could have. And how come I didn't think of that? Because I've done that, right? I could have put that dimensional on there. Next card, right? So anyways, there's the card using the bubble technique. We used opal rounds on there to make it so that it went. And then, of course, we used this suite, and this is the one, or this bundle. This has 14 dies on it, and it's got a really neat one that cuts out the dies, and then these are stitched. And like I say, this one that I did here, this one here, is the one I did putting these two of them together. So that worked out really well. And like I say, that beautiful embossing folder, if you could see that, see how it really sticks up. It's really, it's a neat embossing folder. And like I say, the one I did yesterday, I used the other pair of that one there. All right, and we used that glittered organdy ribbon. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that, thanks, Kylie. I hope that I've inspired you to try thinking about your reinkers. Remember, you should always get a reinker when you buy a stamp pad, because sometimes these colors can be around forever and ever. I know I have just in here, I've got so many colors, but if you don't have a reinker and you use them a lot, they can tend to go dry. And if you think it's like, this is, I think here it's $5, and that you can rank this over. I've never used up a full reinker unless I've used it for another technique. But let me tell you, there is so many different uses. We'll be hitting back on these reinkers again. I know we will be. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to share, and I will do a draw for 2 people that have shared, and I'll reach out. If I don't have your address, I'll reach out. So anyways, let me just come back up again. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, if you are on YouTube, I hope that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel. Also, if you live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I have a host code that, and I turn around and I give out tutorials. And that reminds me, I haven't sent out this month's tutorials. So anyways, and for those of you that are in our stamp camp, look forward to seeing Kylie, who's on here. And that's next weekend. Oh my goodness, it's coming so fast. Anyways, you guys, have a great day. Bye for now.